Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Barth, and I chose forensic botany for my presentation. So, what is forensic botany? Forensic botany is the use of plant science to help solve crimes. A forensic botanist analyzes plants and the environment that they're in an investigation. The evidence that they find can be used in court. And the first time that forensic botany was used in court was in 1935. So in 1935, a pilot named Charles Lindbergh's child was kidnapped and killed, and a handmade wooden ladder was found at the crime scene. A wood technologist from the U.S. Forest Service analyzed the anatomy of the wood on this ladder to help solve the case. He discovered that the wood from the ladder had been a part of the suspect's floorboards and was able to match the markings on that wood to a hand plane that the killer owned. Today, botanists can identify plants to help solve a crime or to help convict a criminal. If someone is poisoned, finding what plant was used can help, or identifying that the origin of the plant particles left at a scene of a crime. Using chemical analysis, a botanical fingerprint can be found. Labs now have equipment capable of this with liquid chromatography. So to be a forensic botanist, a minimum of a bachelor's degree in biology or botany field is required. But most forensic botanists have a doctorate, a graduate's or a doctorate. There's actually a program at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. The Department of Botany their Department of Botany partnered with the Center for Wood Anatomy research at the Forest Products Laboratory, and here they divide into teams to analyze the wood samples that they have to solve cases. You can see here in this picture, this is actually their collection of wood specimens at the Forest Laboratory. So one of the things that a forensic botanist uses is pollen. So sometimes pollen can be collected from either the victim or the suspect at a crime scene, and that pollen can be analyzed to determine where that person was. Another thing that they could use in crime solving is wood, just like in those studies that they use at the university. So like with the ladder in the Lindbergh case, the type or where the wood came from or the age of the wood could be used as evidence or clues to solve the case. Identifying leaves and what type of tree it came from, as well as using DNA analysis to find out what specific tree it came from, can be used to correlate a suspect or a victim with a location. And the same thing can be done with seeds. So here is a short video of a news report about forensic botany.
Investigators are getting some unusual help from CU Boulder scientists who use plants to help solve murders and rapes. And Denver 7's Kyle Horan is with me now. Kyle, it's called forensic botany, and these professors, they're now sharing their knowledge. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it sure is. It's information that have helped prosecutors actually put multiple violent criminals behind bars, and now there's a book about it so everyone can see it. It sounds like something straight from a murder mystery.
It's actually garbanzo beans.
Looking at plants and how they can connect a suspect to a crime.
Simply pick it up and down.
David Norris has been doing this for many years.
We do two different things. One is we examine stomach contents to determine what the last meal consisted of that person ate. Secondly, we can also look at fecal material. We use that to connect suspects to a particular crime scene, particularly rape homicide cases.
Studying plants, Norris can take a look through the microscope and identify whole plant ecosystems, where they live. That data can connect the boots of the suspect to a certain elevation or field where a crime was committed. This process of studying plants has already led to convictions.
A rape occurring in Left Hand Canyon, we were able to show that the vehicle had driven into the same field where the victim knew she had been attacked.
Norris and his partner Jane Bach wrote a book about their unique investigation techniques. Sometimes the evidence Norris and Bach collect even gets suspects to confess. Kyle Horan, Denver 7.
Mm-hmm. All right, so just like in that video, there are some careers that are offered, in the forensic botany field with federal government. So you could work for the FBI, the DEA, and there's also careers available in private companies as consulting or for working full-time at local law enforcement agencies and also for universities. And the average forensic botanist starts off making around $57,000 and can make up to $93,450. And there's also scientists that are involved in management that can make $126,000 to $139,000 a year. So my case example of a forensic botanist that was used to solve a crime was in Switzerland. In 2010, the forensic botanists were used to help identify, for this case, helped identify a murder weapon that was used. There were skeletal remains of a little girl were found, and there was wood in the skull that was found, and they found out that there was blunt force trauma. And in this next slide, you can see a photo of the wood fragments that were found on the scene. The forensic botanist was able to determine that it was chestnut wood, and that these fragments here matched a nearby chestnut blocks that were found at the scene and were likely from trees nearby that were cut down and used as the murder weapon. So to wrap things up, forensic botanists use plant science to help solve crimes. They've been helping solve crimes since 1935 in court, and you need at least a bachelor's degree to be a forensic botanist, but most continue higher education, at least a master's or a PhD. They use pollen, leaves, and other plant material left at a crime scene to help solve the crime. Careers with federal government or private sectors are available, and it pays anywhere from $57,000 to $140,000 a year. Thank you. And here are my references.